What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over my Old Town Sportsman Autopilot 120. So if you've been following social media for the last year, you've seen the Sportsman Autopilot pop up somewhere. I know made its debut at the Bassmaster Classic pre-COVID back in the spring of, I guess that was spring of 2020 at Logan Martin in Alabama. It was a big hit. It's been a hot seller. You can't keep them in stock anywhere across the country. I love mine. I had a 136 originally. I'm down using a 120 this year. I'll go over some of the reasons why I went to the 120. Both are great boats. But you guys have seen it. The recent Bass Nation Kayak National Championship was won by Mark Pendergraph in an Autopilot 120. See it all over YouTube. The guys on Tactical Bassin actually fish out of one when they're doing kayak fishing videos. I'm gonna go over mine, show you how I have it set up for tournament fishing, and just give you a general overview. All right, so we're gonna start up front. Familiar handles that you've seen on different Old Town models right here in the front to be able to carry it. Very small front hatch, but you do have access to inside the hull here. And I've got my battery stored down there in a battery bag for my electronics. And right away you notice the Minnkota head, the Minnkota trolling motor. It's a plug and play system. It drops right in. I'm gonna unhook it, show you guys how it comes off. The pull cord to deploy it goes right around that little nut there. One plug there in the boat, you just unplug that, pop that little bracket, she's out, ready to go. To deploy it, you just drop it in there like that, pop it forward, also good to go. Then you plug it in right there. Get my cord back on. There we go. All right, you see I got my hog trough just stored right here in this alleyway on the hole. Boat comes pre-tapped for all your electronics on either side and right behind the bracket to run wires. You don't have to do any drilling to get your depth finder mounted. Slide track's pre-installed. Humminbird Helix 7 mega side imaging on this one on a ram ball head. It just pops on and off. What I actually have set up is on my Big Water Sportsman pedal kayak. I just take this off and switch it between both boats. I have two transducers underneath both of them. Let me show you how that's set up. You can see there's a Transducer Scupper with a transducer mounting bracket there. It's plenty clear of the bottom of the hole, and there's a little skid plate right there so it stays away from any obstructions you might hit while you're fishing. Come down a little further. See front facing rod holder. There's one on both sides. Those are handy for when you're trying to change lures or you've caught a fish and you just want to get your rod out of your rate real quick. There's recessed openings down the sides. I've got a old school buoy marker. Even though this motor has spot lock, I still like to use the buoy marker to mark brush piles and things like that, because it's just, I'm old school like that. Another molded in handle here on the side, another area for some stuff. Cup holder here and on the other side, both sides. Familiar Old Town Sportsman seat. See there, I've got a aftermarket seat cushion I bought at TJ Maxx and put it on there for lower back support. Yak Gear yak sack clipped to the front of the seat. That's also interchangeable between both my boats, so I can just get all my tools real quickly from one boat to the other. Underneath the seat, for the battery stored, the boat comes with a battery box. I've got a FPV 110 amp hour lithium battery in there, super light, 20 pounds, and it just pops in right there, plug and play as well. Another hatch, there's access to the inside of the hole right there. There's room here in between, let's see where the seat's down, where you can put some stuff. I just keep an extra tackle box there with leader lines, some extra baits, glue, hook sharpeners, whatever. It's right there handy where I can get to them quick. Right here is the rudder deployment handle. You can see me lifting that up. You see the rudder come up back there. And it's an oversized rudder. That thing will turn on a dime for a large boat. We'll get to that in a minute. Recessed rod holders with, you can see right there, there's a tie. If you want to put a rod leash on, you can tie that. I've got a GoPro mounted in there actually. The tank well in the back, this is the 120, but even the 120 has got a huge tank well in the back to store stuff. You can see I've got a cooler, big bag of tackle boxes, a rectangular full-size crate with 10 rod holders on it. I've only got 8 with me today. Huge tank well for all the storage you could ever want back here. There's a plate behind the seat. Comes out, covers the drive hole if you wanted to paddle it or just store it that way, which is another handy feature. All this room if you want to mount more accessories here into the hull. Slide track in the back. Dual power pole mounting spots in the rear with a handle underneath where you can pick it up. Drain plug back here. Of course, the rudder, I already showed you that. The dual power pole mounting areas are nice, and this side here you can see it's already got the pre-tapped holes where they've drilled out and reinforced this for your power pole. Swinging around, more slide track here just like the other side. You can see I've got soft plastics in here on the other side of my crate. There's even room for a few more things. So huge storage. Another flush mount rod holder. Clip for your paddle right there. Just pop that in. Clip for your paddle there. On this side there's a little glove box, dry box. You can put your keys, wallet, whatever in there. Keep your boat title, whatever else in this little glove box. Another cup holder right here. Here's the kill switch, one of the kill switches. If this isn't connected in there, boat doesn't work. So you got to have that in for the boat to work. Front facing rod holder again. I've got these little plastic containers. I think my wife's makeup or something was in them. And it's got holes in the bottom. I pop those in those little openings in the side to put lures and whatever in so they drain water, but they don't just rattle around inside the hole there. Another pre-tap spot for wiring there. Of course, my lure angler PFD. Got to have that. Get that out of the way. You can see the deck. The deck is huge. Plenty of room to stand, move around, put stuff while you retie, whatever. I've got scupper plugs in. Putting scuppers in actually helps speed the boat up a little bit, lessens the drag. Another kill switch here. When the motor's pulled down, it engages that. It allows the it completes the connection so that you can turn the motor on and go. If you hit, people always ask, what if you hit something with that motor? What happens? Well, it jars loose, breaks the connection between the kill switch and the motor, automatically turns it off, and it'll come up. So it'll give. In other words, it's not just going to break your motor if you hit something. I've hit a lot of stumps and rocks and everything else, and it's been fine. You can see the little cutouts. There's drain cutouts and all these little storage areas here. It's foot control steering or head unit control steering using the remote. So if you point the motor straight, have the rudder down, you can use your feet to steer it just going straight, or you can use the motor plus the foot control and do 360s, crab walk. There's a lot of things you can do with this thing. I'll try to show you some of that out on the water. So the boat is pretty plug and play out of the box. There's not a lot of modifications you can do to it that you have to do to it. Just load it up with whatever you want to load it up with, because it's, like I said, full of storage options. So let me get it out on the water and we'll show you a few more things about it. All right, to start with, we're going to talk about deploying the motor. All you got to do, little pole handle right there, looks like a lawnmower handle. Drop that down, hear it beep, locks into these little grooves right here. You're good to go. Turn your remote on. It's automatically paired, and you can see on the remote you got directional buttons, makes the motor turn. Little prop button in the middle makes it go, and then the plus minus, you can ramp it up to whatever you want. So we'll just ramp it all the way up. There we go. And when you put the rudder down, you can just steer with your feet as I'm doing right there. Clipping along about 4 to 4.5 miles an hour, depending on wind and what's going on. I got a kind of a broke prop on there right now anyway. And to stop it, you just hit the rudder or the prop button again. Off she goes. Do some maneuvering for y'all. So if you turn the head horizontal, just like that right there, cock the rudder one direction, you can literally do a 360. So the bread and butter of this head unit is basically a Minnkota Ultrex. As you see the anchor button on here, you can hit that, and it's it. You see the head unit moving by itself. It's literally going to spot lock you or anchor you down wherever you're at out on the lake. There's GPS in the head unit. It's not talking to into the trolling motor head unit. It's not talking to the depth finder. It's using internal GPS. So you even have to have your depth finder with you to lock on a spot. You can see it keeping me right here. It will turn you a little bit depending on the wind direction and current, But if you're pointed into the wind or pointed into the current, it's going to hold you right there. Disengage that. You can either hit the anchor button or just hit the prop button, or the prop button again, take it back off. If you are standing up and have that engaged, whatever the last speed you were on, when you hit that again and take off, be aware of what you were doing, because if you're on full speed and standing up and disengage spot lock, it can knock you off your feet if you're not paying attention. Another neat feature, if you see the little N right there, is directional mode. So if I get lined up to that power pole over there, and let's pretend it was, I don't know, miles away, and I didn't want to maintain steering and I was trying to retie or eat lunch, I can just hit directional mode, not do anything. We'll see if the head unit will turn for us. We're going pretty straight here. There you go. You can see it making slight adjustments, keep me on that exact heading, no matter what's going on with the wind or what I'm doing in the boat, whatever. So great lunch break feature or retie feature. You can also save waypoints and hit go to, and it'll take you back there. I don't have any saved on here right now, but I could hit go to, point, whatever, and it's going to take me back there, which is awesome. Those are some quick settings on here where you can just go straight to 5 or 7.5, 2.5 miles per hour, which is pretty neat. I just like using the plus minus and get where I want to go. It's pretty quick and easy. There you go, guys. That's my Old Town Sportsman Autopilot 120. Couldn't be happier with the boat. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thanks for stopping by the channel. Don't forget to hit that like and notification bell before you go. Thanks, y'all.